And joining me now is one of my favorite senators, Louisiana Senator John Kennedy. All right, Senator, one of the most jarring things we learned is about how much fraud there was, particularly with Social Security. Take a listen.
At Social Security, one of the first things we learned is that they get phone calls every day of people trying to change direct deposit information. So when you want to change your bank account, you can call Social Security. We learned 40% of the phone calls that they get are from fraudsters. 40%? That's right. Almost half.
Yes, and they steal people's Social Security is what happens. Is they call in, they say, they claim to be a retiree, then they convince the Social Security person on the phone to change where the money's flowing. It actually goes to some fraudster. This is happening all day, every day. And then somebody doesn't receive their Social Security.
You know, Senator, it's the way they've committed crimes for years. You just take another address, you call them and tell them that you moved.
I think, Judge, that Mr. Musk and his team's efforts to control spending are the most important in the history of ever, certainly in my lifetime. My Democratic colleagues would prefer that we ask who needs to pay more in taxes. The American people want us to ask what the hell happened to the money. Since 2019, America's population is up 2%. Spending's up 55%. President Biden's favorite type of spending was more. This led to inflation and debt. But it wasn't just the quantity, it was the quality, as Mr. Musk is showing us. A lot of this money that we're spending, things that we're spending money on are just money sucks. They're spending porn. We'd be better off spending this money on scratch tickets and blackjack. And we will never get prices down and control inflation until we deregulate the economy so goods and services will cost less, until we design a tax code that looks like somebody designed it on purpose, and until we control spending. That's just Econ 101.
I agree, but Senator, I hope that Elon is listening tonight, because we have a suggestion on the next Doge cut, Biden's broadband plan. Take a listen.
More than 3 years ago, Congress created the $42.5 billion BEAD program to bring broadband services to unserved parts of the country. But to date, it has not connected a single household to the internet. The Biden administration chose to add a host of conditions to the funding that made it unworkable for many providers.
And you know, Senator, it kind of reminds me of all those electric vehicle charging stations. How many billions went into that? And they were like none up.
Well, that's why I voted against the Inflation Reduction Act. It appropriated $42 billion to give internet to people who don't have it. We haven't given it to anybody. We need to start over. The Department of Commerce needs to throw out the old rule, and we need to start over. But let me make one other point, Judge. I want to make a general suggestion to Mr. Musk and the President. Number one, I think part of the problem is that Mr. Musk has not talked enough, other than on Twitter, and his team have not talked enough about what they've been doing and why they're doing it. They need to hold a press conference every 2 weeks for the press and the American people to say, this is what we've done, this is what we found, this is how we did it. Number two, I begged the President last week, and I'm going to keep begging. When Mr. Musk gets rid of waste, he's sued, and the judges enjoin it. The only way for us to get rid of this spending porn permanently is for the President to send us over what's called a rescission bill.
Right.
Pick 10 or 20 of the worst evidences or the worst items of waste and say, Congress, I want you to get rid of it. And let us get rid of it and make the Democrats vote on it.
Well, it sounds like a great idea. And I agree with you, Senator, because so many people thought the Doge team was a bunch of kids in hoodies in a basement somewhere, a bunch of thugs. They're billionaires, businessmen who were putting their lives on hold, who are willing to answer all the questions, who have a website set up. I mean, everything is on the up and up. And the only thing the Democrats can say is that somebody may lose a Social Security check when they don't have a fact to add. But let me read this. Senator, they tell me I have to wrap with you. Thanks so much. It's great having you on the show. Take care.